All right, welcome to the Monday morning meditation for the new earth. I'm Jason Donaldson. We do this every month to keep people connected and balanced and on that new earth timeline that's largely already here. And it's a matter of adjusting and tuning in and really just noticing what is available to us that puts us on that more, you could say higher, but more desired or preferred timeline versus the old ones where it was the suffering, pain, confusion. Not that all that goes away, but it's not taken as seriously and it's not triggering patterns from the past where we felt powerless or didn't have control or didn't have a voice largely in childhood. Even if we had a great childhood, there's very often times where, like in school, we had to sit and not speak, and there was a certain level of control. And so we can often carry that into our adult lives. And then when things happen, we can shut down. So I like to organize my meditations, my tarot card reading, and energy work all around that understanding that we're innately healthy, connected, whole. Our natural state is love, peace, and joy. And then we're also human. So we have these programs and patterns in the ego and also genetically that many of us are here to override and to heal. And this can even get into a soul level where it comes from other lifetimes, our genetic lineage, and ultimately using the power of our spirit, that all-knowing part, to navigate all that stuff so that we have our greatest experience, timeline, having fun, enjoy in the life that even if there's stuff going on around us, we can still enjoy ourselves and bring more of that light and love in and allow others to move towards that or away from it. Because I feel like there'll never really maybe be peace on earth completely. And I'm also tracking, I'll just get into the energy too for this month is, a lot of people talk about the split and this dividing, but what I'm seeing, and maybe it's just my timeline or where I'm at, is like people actually coming together. Like even me, I went to school to get a master's in marriage and family therapy. I got the degree. I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. Peace out. I'm going to do breath work sessions. I'm going to do tarot card readings for people. And then after about 5 years, it wasn't growing and expanding as big as I wanted. And things just weren't lining up. And it's like, man, I need to go back into this clinical field, which I really didn't want. But as I did, it brought more balance into my life. And I'm connecting and helping people in ways that maybe has never really happened much in the therapeutic realm, maybe just with select therapists. So it's been helpful. And then I've talked to like numerous other healers that are like, yeah, I'm going back to get my degree to be a counselor. And, it's just like this whole integration of the two worlds. So what I'm picking up is more of a balance of synthesis and alchemy that's happening with every version of ourselves on the planet. I don't really believe in NPCs, like like non-player entities and people that are just kind of here to fill the backspace. I feel like everyone here is a conscious living being, and maybe there's some weird like alien distortion stuff, but largely it's all a reflection. And so anybody I come into contact with is an opportunity for me to feel what that brings up and then like also help them on their lives and their life path versus that person is just a background player and not relevant. That being said, we always have the opportunity to move away from those people too. Like we don't have to engage with everyone that feels like they're reaching out and wanting our time or a connection or a collaboration. It's like, oh, no, thank you. And we move on kind of thing. So first I'll tune in psychically, kind of, so a little bit more of that of what I'm feeling for this month. And then I'll pull some tarot cards, and then we'll do a meditation. And then for everyone that's on the live call, we'll do a sharing circle afterwards. And that's when I stop the video. So if you want to join that live call and be a part of that community and connection, just go to Jason Donaldson Healer, and you'll see the link somewhere in there to sign up for the monthly call. All right, so let me just tune in, see what else comes through. I already said that was that more of an integration and alchemy with people and timelines and even like the things we've studied and maybe rejected coming back into our reality to be revisited and looked at. And it doesn't necessarily mean a full engagement, but it is like a requirement to feel what we feel as we're perceiving that and what part feeling the sadness or the anger or the even like fear, like to, I don't want to engage with this. I don't want this in my reality. And being able to like be with that and then allow that to reveal what it's really about rather than the external thing. Let me see what else comes through. If everyone would take a breath with me, I heard like total inhalation to like take a full inhale as big as you can without straining or hurting yourself. And letting it go. And notice how that is for you. Like for me, as that inhale expanded, I noticed parts of the body. And then as I released it, I noticed it was kind of shaky. So there's like this energy here present in this moment. And just allowing that to be smoothed out with each inhale as you breathe in. And then just smooth out that exhale. And I guess that was coming in just as an example of what happens as we feel those, I wouldn't even call it triggers, just like interactions with the world, that we feel it and then we use that breath and it's like smoothing it out. It's consoling it. It's like comforting it versus trying to push it away or stuff it. Or largely on the planet, we've used rationalization and the intellect to try to manage and move things around with the mind versus the somatic, emotional, felt experience of it. And I work with clients in this way too. And when we do this, you'll get like heat, cold, twitching in the body, even like yawning is very, very common. And also noises, like too, as we get more adept at doing this, there'll actually be like noises and things that come through. And I use the mantra, I'm here with that versus needing to engage. Sometimes tell me more if information's coming through, but I am the witness, I am the breath, I am the one that's the healing presence for whatever is experienced with, whether it's within or outside. Let me see what else comes through. Yeah, so that was the play on words. It's like as we do that, it's a total inhalation instead of a total annihilation. So I don't know about timeline split, but I know that if I keep pushing away things and if I keep feeding the fear and trying to manage the sadness, all that, those things, it builds and it grows and it turns into disease in the body or it turns into external things happening. So I finally face it. So what I'm getting is if we really keep doing this work, even if it's just like a little bit each day, rather than trying to push it away and use the old patterns, it will put us on this more preferred timeline. But even if that doesn't happen, we always come back to the divine. We are that. We are the love, the peace, the unity. But to be in creation is to be separate and to have like polarity so that we can have creation and have an experience of being separate from everything. Because if we were with everything again, it would just be everything. And so this is the fun of it. This is the joy and the experience. It's just when we get a little too chaotic. And so when we breathe and slow down, it gets this rhythm, gets this resonance, and things that aren't in that resonance as we go through life, it comes in really far. It's like moved away. It just it can't be in that field. And this is basic science and frequency and vibration kind of stuff. So that's where they say, oh, if your frequency, your vibe attracts your tribe and everything else. And it's totally true. And still this chaotic stuff comes in so that we can feel what's left that we're holding. So I think that's what's most important to be aware of going through this month and ongoing. And it's kind of something that's been a theme anyway, but it feels like it's more accelerated now with all the events happening on the planet. You can see how each person handles this different. And each of us goes through our own times where we spin out a little and get into our little rants or maybe have an emotional outburst. And then if we can come back into that presence, be like, okay, and forgive ourselves. And hopefully we didn't take it out on someone else. We just keep moving forward. So it's not like immediately right out the gate, we're going to be perfect with this. I think that's important to remember. And particularly in relationships, like I've avoided relationships my whole life, like romantic relationships, at least sticking with them for very long. And because that's where it's the most pronounced is when we're in a coupleship and we're navigating the different patterns of behavior and different emotions that come up and emotional states that's where the rubber really meets the road. It's like, okay, can I be present with what's happening and not blame that person or take it out on them and see how it's for me while still having the boundaries that are appropriate. So I'm going to see what cards come through for the month of April. Pull 3 cards. Ooh, I like that. That's really interesting. Because if I got the 10 of Wands reversed, so if I pulled that card and like it had some other cards around it that were considered negative or heavy, I'd be like, oh wow, we're really in for it. But what we have is this 10 of Wands, and then right afterwards we have the Ace of Wands. So to me, this is saying like, can I do it like this? Everything's reversed, but on Zoom. So it's like when we are feeling overwhelmed, and it's like this, I always saw this card as like you have all these obstacles and challenges and things that we're experiencing. When it's upright, we're managing it. When it's reversed, it's like the straw that broke the camel's back. That final thing that comes in is like the death throw of like, oh my God, I just can't do this anymore. And I've experienced that very often in my life where I just collapse and I just like fall to the ground sometimes and like crying in the bathroom or whatever. And as I did that, like I experienced it and it was like a surrender. And then something would rise within me like this like passion, this inner, it was really like an inner fire and like this like no, gonna I'm not gonna allow this to take me down. I'm not gonna allow this to be what defines me. And like it's really like the spirit rises up, and the Ace of Wands is like that fire, that passion that it's like a living wood. You see the leaves on it and stuff growing like it's alive. And it's also the faith that I can carry through this. It's like brilliant ideas and anything that comes from the divine out of nowhere, but really connected with a passion. So that's great for this month. That if something comes at you and it really takes you down, like just allow yourself to feel that and even go briefly to that place, but remember to breathe and watch what happens. Like as you just embrace whatever is versus like, I need to control this. I need to like manage this. I'm not this kind of person. I'm not an emotional person, or I don't, you know, not do whatever our ego or personality thinks we should do. But it's like um, really stepping into what the third card represents is the magician. So the mastery of the material realm, mastery of the mind, the ability to cultivate the body into health and vitality. And that's what the garden represents in this card. You see the flowers around him, and it could be a man or a woman, but it is more of that like ability to be conscious of the power we're working with and how it creates the body, the images we hold in our mind that through the subconscious, through the Empress and that feminine energy allows creation to happen. And you see him with the wand raised, and this is the and with the finger pointing down, this is the as above, so below. So drawing forth that divine energy into us and cultivating and creating the reality we desire. And all the elements are there on the table, which are the tools of his trade. And also you see the infinity symbol there. And that represents not only the eternity of things, but also the balance and the of the yin, the yang, and the positive and the negative, and the kundalini, the rising of the kundalini power. So again, that fiery, passionate power and utilizing it with intention and focus. And that can only happen when we allow ourselves to feel the emotion and be with it. Then this higher wisdom will come from beyond the intellectual mind. And then we use that knowing with the intellectual mind to carry out the desired results, whatever that task is. So hopefully that's helpful. If there's any questions, feel free to throw it in the chat. And oh, there's some stuff in the chat. Just notice in here. Oh, that was from earlier. Oh, it's Amanda's birthday. Sweet. I didn't see that. Happy birthday, Amanda. Amanda's in Chicago, and our good friend Misty just moved there. So if there's any other questions, I'd be happy to tune into that. And yeah, this one's really standing out. Like, just remember this card of this like inner fire, this inner knowing that no matter what happens and no matter how bad it may seem, that you are loved and cared for and supported, and you will not fail in this endeavor. And the only thing that can create that idea of failure in any life is our own intellect, is our own mind. If this was reversed, that's like when we're using all our negative thoughts, all the things that we were thought or told or took on as our beliefs when we were in childhood, and letting that create our subconscious, create through the subconscious, and it would create disease and disharmony and all kinds of chaos. And it could be like a trickster, it could be someone that takes advantage of people using their power in an unconscious way. But upright, it's like I'm utilizing this passion, this power, this kundalini energy, and my ability to perceive reality and create something beautiful. All right. So yeah, got the mahalo from Amanda. Thank you so much too. Thank you all for being here. And those that aren't here live, you can join us at Jason Donaldson Healer for this live call. We do it once a month. So let's go ahead and get into the meditation. So if you want to get comfortable, find a seated position or lying down, whatever works best for you. And so as you close your eyes, just notice what you notice. What comes into your awareness first, and then find your breath. That no matter what's in your awareness, even if it's the breath, the breathing in itself is the presence, is the energy of what I would feel as my spirit. Like, what is it I'm breathing in? What is it that fills me up? What is it that expands me and reveals everything that's present in this moment? What is it that's this anchor? And also with that exhale, what is it that allows the smoothing out, the comforting, the balancing, the equilibrium? So much of life is balance, is finding that middle place, the 0 point in the polar extremes, in the intensity. This breath, this inhale, and this exhale is that still point, is that balance. Notice a part that judges it. Well, maybe I'm not breathing deep enough. Maybe there's something wrong. But then just breathe. Breathe with that. Be with that. But you are not that. You are not the one that judges. And then notice if there's any feelings as you breathe and expand. Often when we take a deeper breath, we start to feel what we've been holding physically, emotionally. But they're very much intertwined. That tightness in the shoulders, a discomfort in the leg or the foot. Just breathe and be with that. Be curious beyond how you think it happened. Just breathing and noticing. And allow that exhale to just gently like soothe that area, that emotion. Inhaling, letting it go down to the feet, down to the toes, down into the earth. As you breathe in again, feel that expansion, feel that energy growing, filling you up, and then letting it go, relaxing the jaw, relaxing any pressure around the eyes, the ears, the forehead, relaxing the hair even, just letting it all be as it is. If there's any adjustment you want to make, feel free to do that. Very often before meditation, as we're just tuning in right now, is the best time to really like show some love to the body. So you may want to like do a little massage. If you feel pain, you do a massage or even just touch that area and gently acknowledge it as you're breathing, as you're here in that presence. And I want you to notice the sounds around you as you breathe, always connected to that breath as your anchor. Increase that breath to a 5 count on the inhale, coming in, breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in again, expanding belly up into the chest, all the way to like the top of the head with the shoulders relaxed, and then allowing that let go, release out through the mouth, all the way down, allowing the chest to relax, the belly, the hips, all the way down to the feet, down into the earth, feeling that rooted, grounded connection. And the breath comes in again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Noticing what you're noticing as you breathe in with I'm here. Work with I'm here with whatever the sound is, whatever the feeling is, whatever the emotion is. Allow that exhale to just be with it, be that loving presence. Maybe it's a neighbor next door, a sound, a barking dog. Maybe it's a bird. Maybe it's a humming of a fan. Just notice that as you breathe, that you're experiencing that sound. You may even have some emotion around it, but you are not the sound. Same for the mind right now. You are not that thought. You may have had it many, many times, but it is not you. You are closer to this breath. So allow that full expanded breath, allow that spirit to rise and fill you up, expand you, and reveal all that is here and the blessing that it is. Even that discomfort, even that pain brings you here now to this place. Notice the thoughts. Always going, always judging, always trying to figure out, always maybe going to the past, the future. But be here now, be that breath, be what is and always was. This energy that fills you, expands you, sustains you, and how it flows out of you and blesses and caresses all that is. Allow that blessing and caressing of the physical form. It is not a prison, it is a playground. It's one of the greatest manifestations ever, this human form. So much is done for me, so much is provided to me through my body. I invite you all to lovingly acknowledge your body right now, how it makes all this possible. The sensations, the tastes, the smells, the sounds. What a gift. Especially those of you that think you're sensitive and empathic. God, what a blessing to feel. And now using this tool, the breath, to allow the flow of that feel. That if it lands somewhere, this feel from you or another, You can simply breathe and acknowledge what's there. Like giving yourself a massage. There's maybe a knot right there. Something holds the energy, the emotion, and then as you just breathe and be and notice, it allows it to gently untangle. You can even visualize as you're doing this, like whatever is there is relaxing. It's like a friend that was hunched over and crying and upset. You just sat beside them and you feel them shift. You feel them start to sit up a little. You feel the sobbing subside a little. And you know that they know that you're there with them and that you love them and you accept them as they are. You accept what is so you can know what it is. Without acceptance, we cannot know what a thing truly is, a person, an experience. Without feeling, we are not connected. We are not aware. And so this is the key. What if your sensitivity and your ability to be an empath was simply just more awareness? That this is the gift you've created and cultivated for many lifetimes to be more refined, more sensitive, to feel things. But maybe nobody's taught you how to just be with the feeling and allow it to flow through you. No, many of us grasped at it and made it ours. This is me, or this is never going to be me. But what if it was just a feeling and attached to a thought that at any moment could just be revealed and released with the breath? Do a couple more breaths like that. Remember that 5 count, 5 in, 5 out. Is that balanced heart coherent breath? Bringing the brain and the heart into coherence, allowing the expansion of a resonant field for that highest timeline, highest probability, greatest adventure in a relaxing, graceful, and easeful way. And they're showing me an image of like a beacon of light, like an emanation. It's radiating out from each of you. And I see an eye of a dragon come forward, letting us know that this light is safe to shine, that you are protected and supported by the dragons. And these are the benevolent beings that can be very destructive and were at one point, but through the power of the heart and the balance, and most likely the breath, for the distortion was that the fire breathing dragon. But what if it was the life giving dragon? That there in this distorted story, the reversal, that the fire, that the breath killed, what if it was what was given life, strength, power, and protection? And so feel the power of the dragons and feel that breath. And the protection that they provide is a boundary that will not be crossed, for none would dare. So allow your light to shine with each breath, each inhale, expanding and letting go. And allow a little smile to emerge, even if there's emotion of fear, sadness, or anger. Allow the gentle smile of spirit, letting it know that you remember your innate joy, peace, and love in which you come from with each breath, and the blessing that that emotion is, the blessing it is to feel, to think, so that we may experience. Otherwise, we would just be a breath, a wind, dancing with everything. But now we get to be that in a form. How marvelous and amazing is that? Feel that. Open your arms a little. Feel if you can get some tingling in those hands. You get that big breath. If you can flow that energy down, all the way down to the legs, the feet, into the earth. Remember that smile. And this is always a great time to connect with your guides, your guardians, your higher self. If you want to tune in, make any kind of acknowledgement of them and their helpfulness and their presence and their guidance. And any request of assistance as desired for this month and ongoing, knowing it is already provided. As you breathe and you feel that, feel it as so. Actually see that happening. See yourself experiencing that. Being curious how that might look, knowing it'll probably look totally different and be even more amazing. Just feel the energy of that, for it already exists. So we thank the dragons, we thank our guides, our guardians, our higher selves, God, the energy of all things. As we start to come back once again to the awareness of the sounds around you as you're breathing. Allowing a little gentle movement of the body. You get some pops, snaps. You're like, oh yeah, that's great. Feel how good that feels. You can visualize the joy that cats and dogs have every time they stretch. They're just so present and so in tune with it. They're not just immediately being like, oh, I need to stretch in this extreme contorted posture. It's just like they're feeling and they're stretching to where they can go. And because they do it all the time, it's pretty impressive. So don't judge how far you can go, but feel how good it feels to go there. Go right up to that edge and just, oh yeah, take up some space, be here in this amazing body on this magnificent planet. This is what we came for, guys. This is the time to remember to breathe, to feel, and to sway and move with it all. And when you're ready, I invite you to slowly open your eyes and just kind of look around the room wherever you find yourself. And wipe away the tears if you have any. Sometimes I get those more from the joy than from the sadness. And so just notice as you're breathing, feeling your body, where your eyes go, and just allow them to help you reorientate to the amazing life you created, to where you are right now on the planet, and what's possible moving forward. Okay, so I'm going to pull one oracle card for the collective. And I haven't used these in a little while, but they're one of the ones I really like. The Oracle of Delphi and the greatest saying ever, know thyself. And that's really expanded into just the little like traumas and thought patterns and grooves in the mind that maybe never go away, but they can be adapted and loved and adjusted with, kind of like a car that's, had a long life and it pulls to the left a little. Like maybe that leg that's a little sore in the morning, you got to like do a little extra work to get it going. To know that, to be with that and not make it wrong or bad. Same with the same patterns of maybe like falling into a victim place, like, oh, my life sucks, this is horrible. And knowing like, okay, that's just part of how this body may be wired, but it doesn't have to spin me out and fall into it like it did in the past. It's like, oh, okay, right, that's that thing. And I'm going to pay attention because when we get into the, if we get sick or we get overwhelmed or stressed out, we can fall into that pattern and kind of like fall into that groove. But at any point, we breathe and remember, like, oh, yeah, let me come out of it. Like, and then we come out. Unless we're like, oh my God, why did I do that again? I should probably do this or whatever. So another reminder to love thyself and know thyself. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Got seer, enlighten, visualize, and interpret. Really pretty cool, mystical, magical, like very much like the priestess card and the tarot, where she's the one that stands at the threshold between what is seen and unseen, what is manifest and what is unmanifest. So, and that subconscious connection, and the subconscious is where everything comes from. And that's why it was so powerful to get the magician, because the magician is the one that can help bring forth the subconscious to create what's desired. Whereas um, if that wasn't, if it was a different card like the devil or something, it would be like the subconscious runs us and these old programs are who we are. So this is again another reminder that you are more the breath, you are that presence, you are the awareness and the ability to balance all things and to manifest what's desired through your higher self and that connection to the rational mind. So, all right. So that's it for this month. Look forward to connecting with you all again. If you want to reach out for a reading, you can go to jasondonaldsonhealer.com. And for those that are still here, please don't leave. I'm going to stop the recording and we can do a little check-in, see how everyone's doing, if you have any questions or want some support. All right. Love you guys. Catch you later. Aloha.